Мы очень рады видеть тебя в России. Это долгожданное событие для всех фанатов Wardruny. Что значит название Wardruna? Какой смысл ты в него вложил?
Well, it has different layers, but to boil it down, Vard means a warden or a guardian, and Runa, that is a word that can mean different things. People often relate it to runes, but it can also mean secret, it can mean wisdom, it can mean a magical song. Yeah, so it's the guardian of the runes.
Расскажи немного о себе. Кем ты был, чем ты занимался до того, как стать музыкантом?
Well, I've been a musician since I was maybe 5-6 years.
Я был музыкантом с 5-6 лет.
But as a profession, I've been doing different things. I've been working with children. I've been a teacher and stuff like that. But for the last years, I've only been doing music.
Помимо музыкального проекта Wardruna, есть ли у тебя еще проекты, которые изучают древность?
Yeah, I recently did a project together with a musician in Norway from a group called Enslaved.
Недавно у нас был совместный проект с другим норвежским музыкантом из группы Enslaved.
It is called Skuggsjå, which is the Norse word for mirror or reflection.
С норвежски это переводится как зеркало или отражение.
And this piece was actually commissioned by the state of Norway. We were asked to write a piece about the Norse history for the 200-year anniversary for the Norwegian Constitution. Yeah, so that's basically a combination of what I do with Wardruna and what he does with Enslaved. So it's sort of a fusion between folk and metal.
Einar, расскажи о рунах. В твоих песнях о них именно поется. Как можно их использовать в современное время?
Well, yeah, I'm working on a album trilogy called the Runaljóð. It means the sound of runes. And since a rune can, it is the ancient writing system that we had in the north, but they also have a symbolic value, and they were often used for magic as well. So what I do in my music is that I try to give voice to these runes and try to interpret them on their own premises, using relevant sounds, relevant instruments, relevant words and language, to sort of tell the story and tell the meaning behind each rune. And also I even go as far as I record outdoor or in places that have relevance to each of the runes, specific dates or time of year. So for instance, if I'm working with the rune for Bjarkan, which is the birch tree in the forest, then I go in the forest and I record playing on birch trees and use the sound of the wind and the bark and everything and put that in the music. Same with the rune for water or stones. Yeah, so it's a very extensive recording process.
Einar, смотришь ли ты сериал «Викинг»? Если да, то какой у тебя любимый персонаж?
Well, of course, I've watched it a lot since I am part of writing the music for it. You have to say Floki.
Yes.
Yes.
And why?
Well, I think maybe he's sort of. They are trying to make a version of the Norse god Loki. And he's very human. You never know if he's good or is he bad, but he's very important. He is the god Loki is also the one that very often initiates things, starts things, important things that are perhaps not. It doesn't feel good, but not everything in life that feels good or not. there are many things in life that are important that does not feel good. So he's an important character in yeah.
Как Россия выглядит в вашей истории, в вашей мифологии?
Well, well in the history, Gardariki, or that was our name for it, and the Rus it's an important place of trade, of course. You know, Norway, it means the way north, and of course that trading route that goes to the northern tip of Norway and down to Russia again, it's a very important, and that many wars in Norway have been fought because controlling that route, that was important up until late medieval times even. Trading walrus, both tusks, the skin, they used it for robes, and the fat from the skin of walrus they used to preserve the Viking ships actually, and they traded it all down over Europe, and it was worth, the walrus teeth, they were like the ivory of the Viking age, so it was a lot of money, and they actually tricked people down in Europe. They said it was the horn of the unicorn. No, but also of course the Vikings was a big part of establishing Russia as a kingdom with the Ruriks and yeah, the Swedish Viking chieftains, the grandfather of Vladimir or Valdemar.
Einar, а как ты можешь охарактеризовать в нескольких словах Россию?
For me, Russia is a very big and ancient bear. it's yeah, for me it's very wild. But then of course it's a very big cultural institution that has a very rich culture, and of course the whole. Yeah, we don't. It's a bit of a mystery country for us in the West because of the dividing that has been over the last 100 years. But I've always been very fascinated by Russia.
Во времена викингов быть воином для мужчины было превыше всего. По-твоему, что значит быть воином в современное время?
Good question.
Хороший вопрос.
Well, I think I think it's difficult to be a warrior today because it's a type of mentality that is, at least in the Western world, is not appreciated today. That type of mentality because of the social constructions that we have in modern society. The modern society, they are more. We are lazy. We don't expect to pay a price for growing as human beings, and everything, especially the hard knowledge or the hard skills, or that comes through hard work and strong mentality, warrior mentality. So I think it's a type of mentality that we need more of. It's not about war, but it's about honor and about how you approach life. If you attack it, or if you just are lazy and yeah. So I think it's an important trait.
Einar, расскажи, пожалуйста, есть ли у тебя в истории какая-нибудь экстремальная история?
Extreme.
Yeah.
From history. Or
something from your biography related to extreme events or conditions.
Well, for me, I can talk about, for instance, my. You have in the last album I did the rune called Naudir. Naudir means need, not need as in want, but need as in
Strength.
yeah, what doesn't it's a matter of life and death, and you are never as strong as you are when you are in that state. Now is the need that it is sort of the crossing point between succumbing to death or life. It's the spark that ignites when you are in danger, for instance. You get very strong, but it can also kill you if you are not. That is what it represents. If you don't find that spark, it can kill you. If you find the spark, you get stronger. And when I was making the song, because my approach is to try and get as close to it as possible, and I went up in the mountains with hardly any clothes, and it was snowing sideways, and I started just walking.
Я просто шел.
And I had my recording gear and
У меня было звукозаписывающее оборудование.
yeah, and yeah, when that feeling came, when I felt I was going to die, then I started to record the song, part of the song for. So it's sort of a extreme approach to art, perhaps, but the goal is always to try and capture that energy in the songs, and this song in particular demanded that feeling. Which might be a cliche, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Чему нужно научиться у древних?
They can teach us a lot, and that is very important for me in Wardruna. That for me it's not about trying to be Vikings again. It's not about reenactment. It's about creating something new from something old. So I'm using old ideas and that are just as relevant for us today as they were 1500 years ago. And I think my songs, if you boil my songs down to essence, it is about three things. It's about man's relationship to nature and to each other, but also to something bigger than yourself. It doesn't have to be a spiritual thing or a religious thing, but I think that is something that everybody relate to.
Einar, о чем ты мечтаешь?
My dreams, well, I feel I'm living the dream. I feel I am, the dream is basically to live a good life and to feel happiness and to grow. I want to grow as a person, and if you want to grow, you have to be doing, you have to follow your heart.
Einar, что значит для тебя быть скальдом?
Being a skald means being able to see people, see the world,
Значит, видеть людей, видеть мир.
and to explain it in a way that inspires other people. That is the way of the skald.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.